surprise winner of the division last year. Went
Yeah.
through a lot of changes, to say the least, one of which was their team name, the Washington Football Team, winning this division with a mighty record of 7-9. This year, I have the Washington Football Team finishing 9-8. And I do see them making that improvement because I do love their defense. I mean, certainly Jonathan Allen, Daron Payne, John Bostic, Montez Sweat, Chase Young. They went out there and picked up William Jackson, cornerback from the Cincinnati Bengals last year. They did lose Ryan Kerrigan, which is going to be a huge loss for them. But I think they have enough pieces on that front seven to make any team's day a nightmare offensively.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the big questions for them is going to be, they didn't really do much at the quarterback position. They went and acquired journeyman Ryan Fitzpatrick. And I love Ryan Fitzmagic. I love what he's done in his career. He's going to be one of those players that we talk about for years, even though they're not a Hall of Famer. But at the same time, it's a lot of faith to put in Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's never really started and finished a season as a team's bona fide number one. Right behind him, you have Taylor Heineke, who showed some promise in that playoff game last year. But the quarterback position is the one thing that could hold this team back. Equating last year's team to this year's team, Terry McLaurin on the outside, Curtis Samuel. I think that they can be improved. Ron Rivera is a good head coach. I think they have the right pieces to be one of those teams that just any day, they're just a team that you don't want to play on Sundays.
Yeah, no, you're right on it. I think that the Washington Football Team probably be the only team that competes with the Cowboys for the NFC East this year. Just like you said, their defense is ferocious. That front seven is going to be, it doesn't matter who they go up against. That defense is going to compete with anybody they line up with. I mean, you got Chase Young, who's a monster, Jonathan Allen, who's a monster. Their defense is just loaded with first-round talent, and it shows. They won the division last year through defense. As bad as their offense was, they couldn't score any points, but their defense wasn't really giving points up either at times. So I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in the division. I do like Ryan Fitzpatrick also. Again, like you said, I think he's very streaky, because when he's good, he's on fire.
Oh, he's like Dan Marino out there when he's good.
He looks great. But then there's times where when he struggles. Like we talk like 3 interceptions, 2 fumbles, you know what I mean? So, but I do like him. I think he's a good, I guess you could say a placeholder, I guess, for this year, because I don't see him coming back after this year. I think they can compete for the division. And to be honest, I know I picked the Cowboys to win the NFC East. Unfortunately, it hurts me to say that, but it wouldn't surprise me if Washington runs it back and repeats again just on their defense alone.
They can't do that though, Puga. It's the NFC East, a division that hasn't had a repeat champion in close to 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the most parity-filled divisions there.
Yeah.
Even despite teams that we think can just run it back. I remember banking on your Eagles after the Super Bowl run. I'm like, this team is going to break that streak. No, it's just one of those things. I don't know what it is about this division. It's always the wackiest division in football.
Yeah, and I think the last team to repeat as division winners was the 2003-2004 Eagles. So
with Andy Reid in tow, Donovan McNabb, long time. Flashback Friday, am I right?
Yeah. So I know we just talked about that streak. I wouldn't be surprised if Washington ekes out a division win, just because and then I think they do have the best head coach in the NFC East, hands down. Ron Rivera. I mean, that guy is just a defensive genius, and the way he just coordinates with his team, you could see that, like, he's always under control of every situation during a game. Like, he's been there, done that. He's very smart, knows how to get, and not only that, but he knows how to get through to his players.
Except when it comes to taking a COVID vaccine.
Yeah. So, other than that. But there's this great video. One of my favorite videos of Ron Rivera is when he was coaching the Carolina Panthers. I forgot what team they were playing, but he was ripping into the Panthers. But at the same time, he wasn't degrading them. He was telling them how great they are. And you can go up toe to toe with this team. We know who they are. Granted, he was using some obscenities, some very colorful language that I don't want to repeat, but if you go on YouTube and type in Ron Rivera halftime speech where he's ripping into the Panthers, you're gonna know why the Redskins, the Washington Football Team, why their mindset is like that on defense. As far as their offense goes, they can put up points too now that they have Ryan Fitzpatrick. Again, streaky though. When he's hot, he's hot. and he's not, you don't want him on the field. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. But I have them going 9-8 also. I think they're gonna lose to the Cowboys in that second game. I think they'll split. And I think that second game is the one that gets them at the end. So, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if they run it back.